Bwrdd Arbawr, John Williams dwi Cadeirydd y Bwrdd a Corff Llywodraethu Iechyd Prifysgol Bai Abertawe. Croeso cynnes iawn i'r gyfarfod arbennig y bwrdd o'r yma. So good morning everyone, I'm John Williams, the Chair of Swansea Bay University Health Board, and a very warm welcome to today's meeting of the board. It's a special meeting, the board sitting as the governing body of the organisation. And as the governing body, the board has a number of roles and responsibilities. We discharge them formally through bi-monthly meetings when we cover all the different aspects of our agenda. But there are times when we have to meet outside our regular meeting cycle. And today is one of those times when we're meeting to look at the upgrade for our healthcare support workers from Band 2 to Band 3. Now, the Health Board is one of the largest employers in Wales, and we have 12,800 whole-time equivalent staff, 14% of whom are healthcare support workers, and they are the bedrock of the workforce, and they play a vital role in patient experience and patient care. Now, the board has a duty of care and a responsibility for the health and well-being of all our staff. But I'm very conscious that when I say that today, that will ring hollow to the healthcare support workers who think that we've betrayed them, that we've gone back on our word to make the Band 2 to 3 related payments by December of this year. And we are so very sorry for the anger, the distress, disappointment that our decision in September to pause has caused everyone. We've seen, we've listened to, and we've read about the very profound effect that decision had. We were never about reneging on our promise, and we've been acting in good faith because we've been trying to ensure that our healthcare support workers in Swansea Bay have parity with those support workers across the rest of the NHS in Wales. And we paused because we thought that a national agreement was nearing completion. It hasn't concluded, but we are in a position to proceed today because we've had assistance to do so. In proceeding, however, we do understand just how much we've damaged trust. And we apologise to everyone caught up in the whole matter. As a board, we are going to do our utmost to rebuild that trust, and we are going to start today. So I'll now turn to the agenda and see if we have any apologies. I've had apologies from Richard Evans, and Raj Krishnan, Deputy Executive Medical Director, is with us. Welcome, Raj. Chris Morell has apologised, and I think we don't have Joe Richardson with us at that point, do we? So do we have then any declarations of interest? Thank you. So I will turn now, and Tina, I would like to ask you to open the item where we're going to receive formally the petition that we have.
Thank you. So to bring the petition for the board to receive this morning, we did have a cohort of board members meeting with Unison and the healthcare support workers on Tuesday of this week, 21st of October. It's entitled Healthcare Workers Betrayed, Swansea Bay Health Board, Honour Your Promise. This type of petition is rated to the Band 2 to 3 issue and has over 2,000 names within the petition. We've got the next agenda item, which I can go into a bit more detail, Chair, on the background to it, but presenting this to be received by the board.
Thank you. So we receive and formally acknowledge the petition, and we thank the delegation from the board who met with staff representatives to do so. Thank you. So Tina, if we move on then to our next item, our substantive item, which is around the Band 2 to 3 agreement.
So I won't repeat your introduction, Jan, but this is an issue that's been going on since July of 2024. We did enter into a local agreement with Unison on the 9th of December 2024, facilitated through NHS Employers Wales. and we did commit to making payments by the 31st of December this year. I'm asking the board to approve those payments for 1,133 members of staff that were in scope. We've got 1,105 members of staff that have been validated as a band 3, so 97% conversion rate. We've had a really robust validation process and been commended on the quality of that. By making the payments within the December payroll, cut-off date being today for that, we will conclude the agreement. And because of the lack of the national agreement being in place, we're recommending that we make payments in line with the national agreement, but obviously we can't implement the national agreement. I'll just stop there to see if there's anything specifically else you want to draw out.
I'll open it for question or comment. Rena.
I just wanted to say I'm really pleased to receive this report and that we are in a position to proceed and obviously to honour the commitment in terms of the payment by December. So thank everybody who's been involved with the negotiations.
Please
And I would like to echo Rena's comments that I'm really pleased we can move forward with this and that the decision has been taken.
Thank you. Nicola.
Thank you. I'd like to echo my colleagues' comments. I'd also like to say I think it is definitely the right thing to do. I think it's right for our staff. What are we going to do to obviously build relationships with our staff going forward, please?
Tina,
I've got a meeting straight after the board meeting with Unison and the Healthcare Support and Negotiating Committee. Obviously it's going to take us some time to rebuild that trust. We are going to do a series of engagement and communication events, but also hear from them directly and then in the meeting next of what they think would be helpful to build that trust. And it's to continue that face-to-face dialogue, listening and repairing and broken relationships going forward.
I'm clearly the board will keep this on its agenda as well for the MOD committee. Do we have any other points before?
Yeah, it's nothing to do with hello. I just wanted to associate myself with the words that the chair opened the meeting with and also echo the comments of colleagues around the room.
Abby, shall I move to you at that point then, please, to give your sort of overarching comments on this before we move to the recommendation?
Yeah, thank you very much, Jan. Firstly, I would like to also express my apologies for the difficult decision we had to take as a board to pause the implementation. I think, Jan, as you were saying, it wasn't about stopping, but it was about pausing for a period while we continued the work. And we did not do this lightly. And I think, as we've heard from the colleagues who met with Unison and some of the healthcare support workers, following the board discussion around the pause, and most recently who received the petition, we understand fully the impact this has had on some of our colleagues. We know that it's been really difficult for those staff affected, and as I said, I'd like to apologise for this. I'd like to thank our colleagues in Unison who met with us to share their concerns, and with the staff colleagues who came to share their personal experiences and stories with us. They were very powerful, as we know from the board. Hearing directly from our frontline staff is really important and very powerful to us. And so we're very grateful to colleagues for doing that. I'd also like to thank the Health Board colleagues and Welsh Government colleagues who've been working really hard over the last few weeks to bring us to where we are today, to enable us to consider the recommendation and to approve the full implementation of the agreement as per the report that we have in front of us, and to acknowledge it's, as Tina said, it's reflecting the latest position in terms of the national agreement. This is a complex matter which has involved a significant amount of work to undertake with the individual assessments against the band 2 and 3 band profiles. And again, I'd like to thank the team colleagues who've been involved in that work, predominantly workforce and nursing colleagues right across our organisation who've taken that work forward, particularly over the summer months, and work that was concluded in August. And we are confident that the way that work is undertaken gives us assurance that we are clear that the band 3, the staff who will move on to band 3 terms and conditions meet the profile of the band 3 role. Today, we'll be taking the decision to implement the agreement fully with Welsh Government support, and this is a significant step forward. My own reflection is that it's taken us too long to get to this point. This has been, as Tina said, a local discussion since May last year, but we know that it's been an issue that's needed resolution before that. And this is a really important step forward in terms of the work we need to do around future workforce planning and pay discussions, building on the strong relationships with staff representative colleagues that we've been building over the period. Fully acknowledge, Jan, what you said at the beginning of the meeting, and Tina, in terms of the importance of rebuilding those relationships. I do really value the partnership forum that we have and the open and honest discussion we have in those meetings, and we will build on those moving forward. Today's focus is quite rightly a single item board meeting, and the focus is on the decision that we have before us. But I wanted to take the opportunity just to reflect on the importance of our healthcare support workers and thank them for what they do day in, day out. A small number will remain on the band 2 profile, but the majority, as we've said, will move on to the band 3 job profile and be paid accordingly moving forward. And just a reflection that our healthcare support workers are such a critical part of our family. They are the ones who spend most time directly with our patients, the ones who probably have the greatest impact on the experience of our patients. They are the ones there supporting patients 24 hours a day, patients who will be feeling at their worst. They will be in unfamiliar surroundings, away from their home and their family. And we are very grateful for the work that the healthcare support workers do every day, 24 hours a day, every day of the year in terms of supporting our patients. As a single board item and a specific special board meeting, we're not considering the full business that we would ordinarily discuss. And therefore, I do think it's really important as the accountable officer and chief executive that we are reminded of our statutory responsibilities as a health board. We have a statutory responsibility to deliver safe, effective care in a sustainable way. And that doesn't mean living within our financial allocation and commissioning income that we receive. Board members will be very familiar and aware and conscious of the fact that we are not currently doing so, and that we are facing significant financial challenges, and that in the year we are not where we need to be. And in terms of making progress towards our 3-year trajectory to achieving sustainability, we have more work to do in this year to put those foundations in place. That work will require us to look at our workforce planning and modernisation, alongside service improvement, service redesign and service transformation. Those are central things that we are driving forward, both in terms of our in-year recovery and sustainability programme, that will enable us to deliver the best possible care we can in a sustainable way for our population. This is really very much in line with our refresh strategy. And I was just reflecting on the strategic objectives. This agenda item really does align with all of our strategic objectives, delivering safe care, working in collaboration, but most importantly, the objective that's about being a great place to work, where we value all of the contributions of all of our staff. And I think it was important that we set that out. We want this to be a great place to work, that people come to work knowing that they are doing the very best that they can, operating at the top of their licence, and that they can get joy from their work every day in terms of what they are contributing to the health, care and well-being of our staff and population. And that we can work together towards ensuring that we are operating and delivering a sustainable service for our population. And just again, thank you to the staff that have been involved in all of this work, both in terms of doing the assessments over the summer period and working very intensively behind the scenes with Welsh Government colleagues to enable us to be in a position today where we have the support that we need to make this decision. Thank you.
So can we move to the recommendations then, please? So we have recommendations in front of us. The first one to approve the payment to Band 2 healthcare support workers and ensure that's in the December 2025 payroll. Thank you. And then we need to acknowledge Welsh Government support to address this in 25-26. We're grateful for that. We need to agree that there are ongoing revenue costs into 26-27, and we will need to reflect and provide for those costs as part of our financial planning process, and we will need to give those costs a priority. And the board needs to be clear on that. We happy with that? And then, and also we have to acknowledge that one part of the payment, the recognition payment, is regarded as a special payment and it needs Welsh Government approval. And Darren, you will process that
Immediately following the board
immediately
decision.
following the board. And then, as ever, we will ask the Workforce and OD Committee to exercise normal diligent oversight on behalf of the board for the implementation of this particular piece and then the ongoing workforce modernisation. Are we all content? So it has been a single issue board, but overnight we have had one item of any other business, which we're just going to receive and put on the record today, and we will come back to it in the November board meeting. And that is the receipt of an open letter from the student nursing body in Swansea University, those who are coming to the end of their training. And they're really sort of applying to us to understand what will happen at the end of their training. So Liz, would you just like to give the board an initial assessment of where we are so that our student nurses understand we've cited on this and we will be getting back to them?
Yes, thank you, Chair. We are cited on it, and as we know, we don't have adult branch vacancies in this health board at the moment. We do have other vacancies and we are working through those. So we have a clear understanding of the situation that those students are in. We are going to be working with HIEW to look at possible solutions, but we cannot open up vacancies that aren't there. And we will be talking to our students, talking to the universities and working together to look for possible outcomes.
Thank you. And Keith, you will be ensuring that the university supports those students?
100%, yes, that's already taking place and a lot of work to be done there. And collaboratively, we'll do whatever we can to help that student group.
So we'll receive that letter and we will circulate that to all board members and then, acknowledge these significant issues raised and agree that we will come back to this formally at the November board meeting. Okay, so that concludes our business for this morning. So diolch yn fawr iawn i gyd am eich cyfraniadau. Thank you all very much for your contribution and I will close the meeting at that. Bye for now.